Welcome to a Thursday edition Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, and of course HUDCO Roofing and HUDCORoofing.com. Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late here. Just telling the Facebook crowd as we were starting there that I am interesting. Okay. Starting to work out in the morning, so it's kind of throwing my morning routine in a little bit of a tizzy. I've been getting up at 6:30 to work out, and I had to start working out at 6:30. I had to start working out a little earlier, so I'm not keeping y'all too much later. So, anyway, I appreciate everybody for watching. As always, please like the page, share the post, like the page, share the post, like the page, share the post. Say some good mornings here. Of course, the big news: James Cregg fired as LSU's offensive line coach. I gave last night on Nightcap with Scone. I gave the name Alex Atkins. Currently at Florida State, and man, I think he's the guy. Like we always say with coaching searches, it's never done until it is, and you got to get it across the finish line. But I've just had so many people independent of each other tell me that name, so I think that's the guy, barring something unforeseen. Let's see, Connor O'Neill, what's up? Trivia Carter, good morning. Tim Gotro. My question, why wasn't Cregg part of the offseason purge of bad assistant coaches? Why wait until recruiting opens? So, a couple things, Tim. A lot of times you want to make sure that when you have that purge, you have your guy, or you have your guy in mind who's going to replace him. And maybe that guy wasn't available at the time. And then the other thing that we did talk about last night at Nightcap as well is what I've been told is that apparently Clemson reported Cregg for recruiting violations. I'm guessing here. This is the part I don't. I'll tell you candidly. I'm guessing. The guy that they were both in the mix for was Tristan Lee. Remember the big 5-star offensive lineman from Virginia who ultimately picked Clemson? I mean, ain't that a kick in the junk if you're really the worst recruiter on staff and you get popped for recruiting violations? Anyway, I haven't been told that it's anything super severe, and maybe that's just the open door to make the move, if that makes sense. So the timing is the thing that's curious. Nothing else about it is curious. They never landed blue chip offensive linemen. He was known as a poor recruiter, and quite honestly, they didn't develop talent while he was here. So I'm not in any way surprised. And the people I've talked to about Alex Atkins, they rave about him. So if that's the guy, I think it's a pretty significant upgrade if that's the direction they go. Joey Vincent, good morning. Nicholas Cantrell, good morning from DFW. Holler here at my Facebook peeps this morning. Appreciate y'all for watching as always. Please like the page, share the post, like the page, share the post, like the page, share the post. Skip, what's up, dude? Lori Prophet, good morning. Charlie Cavell, Pat Huseman, Jason Bourgeois. Is that an Ole Miss t-shirt? It is not an Ole Miss t-shirt. This is the sticks, which are, and you see on the back, I don't know if you can see it. It's Harris Jr. So, if y'all saw the story about Cedric Harris, former LSU outfielder, his son CJ, Cedric Jr., was in an ATV accident and had started to recover, and the prognosis was really good, and then rapidly declined and ended up dying. And so they've done a lot of fundraisers for the family, and then also things in CJ's memory. And this is one of them. The team that he played for made shirts with his name on it and sold them as a fundraiser for the family. So Baldwin. Really, I thought it was an awesome thing. They've had such an outpouring of love and support for that family. So that one hit me hard, y'all. I mean, I didn't know CJ, and I've only spoken to Cedric a few times, but Parents shouldn't bury their children, man. Let's see. Nice to see Cade Civic and Jared Poche jumping into the coaching ranks. I saw that. So there'll be coaches at French Settlement. I saw. Maybe I'll get one of both of them on the air today. I'll get Poche on the air today. He doesn't say. He's kind of quiet. Both those guys are kind of quiet. So they'll probably not be yelling much at the players. Hey, Dad. Good morning. Breezy bro. What up? What up? Leaving the seconds on the microwave still an ongoing issue on our end. Hope all was well at Drew's appointment yesterday. Thank you, Breezy. Yeah, man. It seems like he just got a little bug. So they said, it's just taking, with his little immune system being what it is, sometimes it might take him a little longer to kick things. So whereas you or I might be over it in a day, it's taking Drew a little longer. But it seems like we're coming through it. So thank you for asking. And yes, numbers on the microwave, giant pet peeve. I understand if, you have soup in the microwave or gumbo, and it's bubbling over. Yes, stop it to open the microwave. You've put it in too long. But then clear out the numbers, But the one where it's like if you've timed it perfectly, and it's like 3, 2, and then you open it at 2 or 1 just because you don't want to hear the beep. It's like, okay, well, first of all, that's neurotic. But second of all, clear the numbers. Jason Bourgeois, Kirk Taylor, Charlie Cavell. Is this another blow to O, making the seat even warmer? Well, Charlie, it certainly doesn't help. But look, I think the possibility there is that you go and you make the right hire, and you improve your staff. I mean, it's the optics of firing a coach in June is certainly not good, but it's going to be an upgrade. Like I said, it's so funny that they won the Joe Moore Award a couple of years ago. And listen, credit to those guys. Obviously, Lloyd Cushenberry became a draft pick, and Damian Lewis was drafted and started as a rookie, and Sadiq Charles, I believe, was a 4th-round pick. So they had some guys on that team that got drafted. But it's funny, I've talked to a lot of X and O type people, right? Which I'm not. I've never pretended to be an X and O type guy. I know a good bit of it, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I can get on a whiteboard and X and O and draw schemes and all whatever. But it's just funny that in 2019, all they ran was inside zone. You never saw counters. You never saw anything schematically advanced in 2019. And it was really just Burrow and Clyde erasing a lot of their flaws. So anyway, and then this past year was terrible. And the fact that, look, you haven't landed blue chip prospects and guys like Bradford and Cardell Thomas, and you don't see the development there, and the line as bad as it was a year ago. The fact that you had to get a kid from Harvard who, when you signed him, Ogeron says, maybe he could provide some depth, and then he ends up becoming your starting center when he had never played center. It's telling, right? What's up with the guys that you signed? So my hope is, Charlie, that it ends up being a net positive, right? That you get a better coaching here, a better recruiter, get better players, and develop them better. Chris Keller, did you see my text about 2 former Tigers teaming up to coach high school baseball? Well, actually, Skip just mentioned that. I did see that on Twitter and a bunch of other places. So forgive me if I missed your text, Chris, but I did see that story yesterday, yes. Chernowskis, what's up, man? Good morning. Brian and Annie Pinton, good morning. From Somerset, Pete. Hey, what do you think about the firing? Talked a little bit about that. Yep, not surprising. The only thing surprising was the timing, and hopefully they're better for it. So did Cregg screw the pooch, or did Lee not tell them he had already signed while we continued recruiting him? So, City, that's a good question. I'll just tell you honestly, I don't know the extent of it. I'm not, you know this about me. I'm not a recruiting guy. I don't follow and cover recruiting data. I don't talk to the prospects and their families and all this. That's not really my forte. I lean heavily on guys like Shea and Billy and all those guys when they do that. So the particulars, I don't know. I'm just playing connect the dots. What I was told was Clemson reported LSU. It makes sense, right? They were both recruiting Tristan Lee. So the extent of all that, I don't know. Henry Gordon Bennett, morning, Matt. Of course, the buzz is about Coach Cregg. Maybe Coach O has a plan in place already to pull the trigger at this point of the offseason program and go Tigers. Yeah, no, Henry, listen, I think and I said it. I don't know how many of you were watching Nightcap, but I said it last night, and I'll say it again. I mean, the names that I've heard are Alex Atkins, who's currently at Florida State. He also did a stint as, at Tulane as run game coordinator, offensive line coach. And Ben Wilkerson is a name that a lot of people mention, who's been coaching for about 10 years now, is currently as an assistant offensive line coach for the New York Giants. And another one that I heard this morning is Brad Davis. Brad Davis is at Arkansas presently as their line coach, and he's from Baton Rouge, went to Bel Air. So, and he's been a lot of different places. But again, like the number of people independent of each other that have told me Alex Atkins kind of tells you, like, okay, there's a lot of smoke there, and where there's smoke, typically there's fire. So, again, not done till it's done, but again, if you're going to make that type of announcement now, typically you got your guy in place. Hey, Mindy Hugman, good morning. LSU E made it to the NJCAA World Series Championship game. My cousin's number 15, the Catholic High alum. There you go. That's awesome. Mindy, isn't Ben McDonald's kid on that team too? Isn't Jace McDonald on LSU E's team also? That's awesome. Good for them, man. So when's the championship game? Boyer, what's up, man? Kirk, question: if Coach Cregg was fired without cause, how much money is that total LSU had paid out to this point? Just to James Cregg? I don't know what his buyout was. Let's see. Cregg was making $475. We got a 2-year deal, so he had. Let's see, James Cregg when he got him in 18. Oh, he was making. They gave him a boost to $700K. Holy crap balls! I did not remember that. Wow. So if he was terminated without cause, LSU would owe him the remaining total salary. Wow. Or the base salary. And supplemental compensation. Wow. They owed him everything. $700K. Good work if you can get it. Man. Anyway. Michael Costello, Kyle Milliken. Let's see. On the Out of Bounds show at Bow Bounds just now, Kyle Peterson said LSU won't poach a sitting head baseball coach. Interesting. That is interesting. I completely disagree with him. I'm trying to think where Kyle could be getting that. I mean, they're not going to hire an assistant. Interesting. Tim Gocho, glad to hear Drew's doctor visit went well. Look forward to when he's feeling well enough to sing for us. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate that, man. John Call, seems like a trend with O. Make a staff hire that doesn't work out. I get there will be turnover with success, but that doesn't seem to be the case here. That's true, John. I mean, and every time I run through the list of failed hires by Ed Ogeron, people get mad and call me a hater. But, I mean, at this point, it's what it is, man. I mean, y'all know the list. You don't need me to run through the names. This is another one. And I think that's also why, if you're an admin, right, you get a little tired at times of your head coach coming to you asking for buyout money. Let's see. Jason Bourgeois, where's Ben Wilkerson now? He's an assistant offensive line coach with the New York Giants. Kelly Presley, what's up? Brian and Annie Pinton. How do you lose your job on your day off? Tim Witten, good morning. William Kimbrough, good morning. Troy Abear, morning from Maine. Glad you made it up there, man. You think the Tigers take game one? Troy, maybe this is foolish of me, but I am a little bullish on this team. I hate the travel. I hate playing an unfamiliar opponent and all that stuff. But I love Landon Marceau. And I like Marceau in a Friday night type setting. And, the guy LSU's going to face, the sort of crafty right-handed pitcher. I think Maneri's got a good plan to get a bunch of lefties in the lineup. I like that Gio's back. You put Beloso in the lineup to get a lefty in there, and I like that because he puts the ball in play. I do. This is a Gonzaga team that doesn't really have home run power. They're a gap-to-gap team, which means you need to string together hits against Marceau, which typically doesn't happen. And, they got a team batting average of 280, which is a little better than LSU's, but they've only hit 33 homers on the season. I mean, I don't know that I think Gonzaga is going to come put up 10 runs at LSU. I think with Marceau pitching, I think he keeps them in check. And judging by the conversation we had on AFR yesterday with the guy who covers Gonzaga, Locked on Zags guy, Stephen Carr, apparently Gonzaga's bullpen is a little bit of a weakness. So, get in that bullpen, maybe a close game early, blow it open in the final three, get a win. I think they can win that game against Gonzaga. Now, Oregon's bats scare me a little bit because I hope Mikhail Hilliard can keep it up, and I think Mikhail will be the number 2 starter. I hope, if you find a way to win those first 2, man, I really think it's going to be hard for somebody to come back and play a 4th and 5th game of the weekend and beat LSU twice. So, yeah, you get the first 2. I think LSU wins the regional. I do think they're going to beat Gonzaga. I do. Now, if they get into a marble game against Oregon, can they win that one? I'm less confident about that. But Mikhail Hilliard's been awesome. Mikhail Hilliard's only got to beat Arkansas. And Arkansas is a lot better than the team they're going to face, and either teams they're going to face this weekend. Jonathan Cuskerart, good morning. Go Tigers, have a great day. Thank you. Kelly Gross, good morning. Stephen Miller, good morning. Shelby Kelly, Troy Haber, Street Clothes, a.k.a. Anthony Data Davis. That's pretty good, too. Jason, Dawn, good morning. Shelby, missed the days of COVID rants on Morning Scone. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. I don't miss that at all, Shelby. Not at all, bro. I am so glad that trash is over. When we brought Drew to the doctor's office yesterday, I walked in, and they're like sir, where's your mask? I'm like, I haven't worn a mask in a month at least anywhere. Mask. Like, well, you have to wear a mask in the doctor's office. Like, okay. Oh, y'all are still pretending like COVID's a thing. Okay, sure. If you have a mask, I'll put it on. And then as soon as I get into the private room, I'll take it off and throw it in the trash and step on it. Let's go, Stradamus. Yeah, just for bleeps and giggles. Let's see. I haven't checked on the. I always said, when COVID was starting and it was like 25% mortality rate, and I was like, Yeah, it's because they haven't diagnosed enough cases yet. Eventually, it's going to be a 99.5% survival rate, just like the flu. I haven't checked lately to see what the numbers are. Thank God I haven't had to. So, let's see. Boom, 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 boom. I know you don't care about this, but I'm just curious now because it's been a long time. Let's see. 3.7, 172.5. Yep, 0.02. 0.02. So you have a 99.98% chance of surviving COVID if you get it. 0.02% of the worldwide, 0.02% of the people that contracted COVID-19 die. And I'm not in any way trying to be dismissive of the grief of or the loss of life anywhere, but it's like we disrupted our entire way of life for something that has a 99.98% survival rate. We ruined businesses. We messed with the psyche of children who have had anxiety and fear and worry, and we've created mental health issues. We have created issues, and I said this from the very beginning, the ramifications, our reaction to COVID is going to be worse than COVID. We did everything we just did for the last 14 months for something that has a 99.98% survival rate. Whatever. Worst case of groupthink in my lifetime. See what you just did, Shelby? You got me going again. Pat Huseman, I missed the ECHL, the Ice Gators, the Kingfish, the Brass. That was good times, man. Didn't they call it the Atchafalaya Cup? I went to many a Kingfish game for sure. Is Alex Atkins another buddy of O? Those kind of hires need to stop. No, Troy, listen, man. Listen. Give credit to Scott Woodward. Scott Woodward went and brought Austin Thomas in. By the way, Scott Woodward brought back Austin Thomas. There's a reason Austin left, and the reason that he left is still in place. And Austin came back because Scott got him back. And a big part of vetting coaches and organizing the program and the recruiting board and the roster and all, that's Austin. And Scott brought him back. So it's not a surprise that coinciding with that, you're seeing guys like Andre Carter get hired, right? Blake Baker get hired. If it's Alex Atkins who gets the O-line job, guys that didn't coach at or coach with O or play for O at USC. Wonder if he's actually interviewing candidates now too. Jamie Leday, good morning. Let's see. I gotta go quickly, y'all. It's 8:15. I gotta get rolling. Cage Dome and the Centralplex were electric. They were, man. Those are fun games, man. Shelby, Scone, how do you determine which coaches can be talked about in the hiring process? When Brady was in the running for passing game coordinator, you only kept saying y'all are going to be surprised. It's not a name any of y'all have heard of. Was that because of Peyton and his reaction to things like the Nielsen ordeal? Honestly, Shelby, I don't remember right offhand the Brady hire, like how all that transpired. I just don't remember offhand. It's just a case by case basis. I mean, sometimes sometimes you can sabotage deals by saying too much. That's the bottom line. Sometimes things are already done. Like with the LSU baseball search right now, talking too much, mentioning too many names, like that can sabotage deals. Now, it's also my duty to do my due diligence for my audience and to tell you within reason what I know. But I also love LSU, and I certainly wouldn't want to be the reason that a deal gets rug pulled. You know what I mean? Father John David Mathern, morning Scone, love Wilkerson for the offensive line job. Any chance Mawai is in the conversation? So I know Kevin wanted it badly the last 2 times that the job was open. I think he'd be in a much better position to get it now. But Kevin did tweet last night whenever the news broke. He tweeted a GIF of like the Colts logo and like pointed at the Colts logo. So he's staying put. Again, I think you have the list already. It wasn't hockey. It was fight night on ice. That's a great point. Dylan Landry, what's up? Jacob East, good morning. I don't know what all that is. Richie Burt, Ironhead Hayward is up for the College Football Hall of Fame. That's awesome, man. But Ironhead, what's with this thingy? I remember that when he did the commercials for like Zest or whatever it was. The Zag Midweek Champion game. I love it. Josh, maybe I could do a bit on that, Kurt. That might actually be fun. Josh Delahousse, speaking of LSU I'm curious your take on the possibility of LSU hiring Coach Willis for the head coaching job. Yeah, Josh, I don't think they're going to go that direction, man. There's just nobody that's mentioned that name to me, and I think it's the person who mentioned earlier about Kyle Peterson going on an interview and saying that LSU won't hire a sitting head coach. That really surprises me because, I mean, the very deep level conversations that have been had now for several months have not involved assistant coaches at all. Did he get a boost after the Natty? Hard to imagine him deserving a raise otherwise. Yeah, I mean, Jonathan, remember, so he came here in 18, so he coached 18 and 2-year deal, 18 and 19, and 19 they won the Joe Moore Award. So he got a boost. And last year was not good. So this would have been the last year of his contract. 2-year deals for assistants. Jeff McKithen, Jonathan Martin, Daniel Sonnets, what's up? Missing the COVID rants, nothing compared to taking care in the neighborhood to the woodshed. Yeah, no, Richard Bruce said about the 2019 O-line being bad. Some of as I said, some of those players were good. Lloyd Cushenberry developed, obviously, into a really good center. Started as a rookie. Damian Lewis. But you're also talking about guys that were, a couple of middle-round picks. Cush, I think, was a third-round pick. Maybe same with D-Lou and Sadiq, I think, was a fourth-round pick. So you still never had the blue-chip elite, like, first-round guy, right? You didn't have an Eric McCoy, a Cesar Ruiz, guys that went, round 1, round 2. So you just haven't produced that guy. And Burrow erased a lot of their misgivings as an obvious thing. And I'm telling you, having talked, not from my perspective, but people that do X and O, that type of stuff, that have basically told me all they did was run zone. I mean, they didn't run any counters. They, at all year. They just... I mean, Fauci emails say cloth masks don't help, clown show. I didn't see that, but I mean, of course they don't. I said that a million times. Unless if you're washing them every single day. Otherwise, you're putting germs and contaminants on the mask and then putting it right into your respiratory system. It's actually counterproductive. It's common sense. I may or may not have just gotten Scone sentenced to Facebook jail. I think we're good, Shelby. If they were going to put me in Facebook jail for that, they would have done it a year ago. Curtis Clark, if you had to say who would you want for baseball head coach, I would go get Kevin O'Sullivan. Relentless recruiter, tons of energy, already won a national championship, expert pitching coach, developer, desperately wants to be at a place where fans care, would embrace that. Yeah, I think it'd be a huge injection of life. That'd be my guy, would be O'Sullivan. I just don't know if the LSU administration is going to sign off on it. All right, last one. Troy. Kevin M doesn't want to come coach O-line with Ogeron. Who could blame him? The whole staff may be gone next year. Oh, I hear what you're saying. Billy Mathern. Cardano up to 187. We did have a little pump, didn't we? Hey, come see. Come say hi to Dad's show. Drew. Come see. After Dad's show, we can get dressed, and Mimi's going to come see you. Okay. I got to get rolling, y'all. Speaking of Facebook jail, where's Jason? I don't know where Jason is, man. Maybe he got himself thrown. Jason Aguilar. Maybe he got himself thrown in Facebook jail again. Jed Mile, Ronald Barnes. Let's see. Look up how many died worldwide before you go to that statistic. I did, Ronald, and that's exactly what I said. Was you can make that point, and I'm not trying to diminish any loss of life. The point is, every single year, and this is what people like, I'm assuming you fail to acknowledge because you've drank all the Kool-Aid on this topic. What you fail to acknowledge is that every single year in our country and in our world, respiratory viruses kill hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. The combination of influenza, RSV, I can go down the list, mono, that kill people with compromised immune systems and respiratory systems every single year. But you know about flu and mono and all these different things, so you don't take as big of a deal. If every year in our world for a 6-month period during cold and flu season, if we all said nobody's leaving their homes and everyone's going to wear a mask everywhere and we're only going to do virtual online, we would save tens or hundreds of thousands of lives in our country every single year. But we don't do that because you have to take a measured risk in life and say, what am I willing to risk in order to live? But you can keep drinking all the Kool-Aid and all that bullshit, and here we go. I cursed no more than Scone. See, y'all got me rolling again. Because it ain't about that. You want to know why, Ronald? And you want to know why I'm hot about this? Because when my kid was in the NICU, every single day I saw babies die in the NICU from RSV. We had to have a knockdown drag out with our insurance company to get Drew approved for Synagis shots, which are extremely expensive, and our insurance company didn't want to pay. So that way he, with one lung and a bad heart, could get a shot to help him fight off RSV, a virus that you probably know jack shit about anyway, but kills every single year. And if we had policies like wearing masks and social distancing and all that crap, there would be thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of lives saved every single year. But we don't. Why? Because you go about your life.